Hi, I'm VGRetro. Do I need to say anything else? Well, Halloween is upon us, and you know what that means. It's time to review a Halloween-themed video game. I particularly chose this one not just because of its spooky concept about witches, monsters, zombies, etc., but because of the entertainment and humour that it has to offer. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Medievil.
This game is about a man named Sir Daniel Fortescue, a cowardly soldier who led a battle against an evil sorcerer named Zarek in 1286. He was killed by the first arrows launched by the terrible villain, and to avoid humiliation, the king declared Fortescue died honourably in battle, having destroyed Zarek and brought peace to the kingdom of Gallowmere. However, 1 century later, the very much alive Zarek attacks the kingdom by raising an army of demons and zombies to wreak havoc across the land. Unfortunately for him, Fortescue is inadvertently resurrected by his evil spell, and now Fortescue has to prove he can be a true hero and restore peace to the kingdom. So where better to begin? Dan's Crypt. Here we have to listen to these gargoyles, who are supposed to guide you through each level, but they are nothing more than total douchebags who like to spend their time ridiculing Dan about his pathetic past.
The hero of Gallowmere who fell at the first charge.
So anyway, this level is nothing more than a tutorial for learning how the gameplay works. You have to travel around collecting weapons like swords and shields, etc., but there are also items that help you access other levels like the runes. If you collect these, try to find a hand near a gate that bears the same colour as the rune you collected, like this star rune. Now that I have opened the gate, I can now leave the level. The next level is a graveyard, and this is where the real gameplay begins. The place is packed with zombies, and you have to get through the area alive. So let's discuss the controls. You use the X button to attack, and the circle button to jump. That sounds odd, but you'll get used to it quite fast. The square button has a special attack move that can knock many enemies away from you if you use it right, and the triangle button allows you to block with your shield. Later in the game, it can also be used to perform the daring dash move. Dan walks quite slow, but tapping the D-pad allows you to run. You have 300% health, which diminishes very quickly if you're not careful. However, you can find these green fountains, which if you stand in, will replenish any health you've lost. You also have these life bottles, which if you collect, will refill your health bar if you die. Consider it an extra life if you will. But now that that is out of the way, let's discuss items. You have the runes, which I have mentioned allow you to access new areas. You have gold, which is useful in buying extra ammunition for weapons. Other than that, it's pointless. And you also have a very important item known as the Chalice of Souls. As you progress during the level, each time you defeat an enemy, the cup in the right-hand corner increases in percentage. If you find the Chalice of Souls, it's pretty much useless until this percentage reaches 100%. Once you collect the chalice, you are given a message. The Hall of Heroes awaits. When you are given this message, you can access the Hall of Heroes at the end of the level. Why is this level important? Well, listen to the gargoyle as you enter.
Welcome to the Hall of Heroes, where the bravest warriors from history spend eternity. If they think you're worthy enough, you may be able to persuade them to give you a new weapon.
You heard what he said, so let's go shopping. When you find a glowing mark on the floor, this means that you can talk to this hero. The heroes will give you a weapon each time you come here, although some of them only give you gold or life bottles. You'll probably notice that in the Hall of Heroes, there is a ghost-like statue on the right as you enter. Notice the figure? It's Sir Dan!
When it has turned solid, a true hero you will be.
Of course, that'll only happen if you collect all the chalices. Well now, that's all of the important aspects about the game, I believe. Now for a quick look around. This game is simply enormous. The levels are pretty exciting too, including haunted castles, ghost ships, futuristic levels about time, and villages with zombie-like villagers who are out for the kill. But probably my favourite aspect about the game is the bosses. These are some pretty cool bad guys who can be pretty tough. Well, tough for everyone except for those lucky Europeans who have a cheat code. Yes, this game has a super cheat code that was not included in the US or Japanese versions of the game. Why wasn't it included in those versions? Who knows? I think my favourite boss out of all of them is the dragon. Just listen to him.
Who dares to enter my lair and wake me from my slumber? Aha! Prepare yourself, little man. I shall roast the flesh from your bones.
Not only is this dragon one moody old creature, he also sounds like Draco from Dragonheart. Mr. Connery, why did you retire? Anyway, other notably good bosses include the Mausoleum Beast and the Graveyard Guard Dogs. Zarek's Lair is a brilliant final stage, which works in 3 different steps. Firstly, using the Chalice, Sir Dan summons the spirits of heroic Galamir soldiers to fight Zarek's army of skeletons. Using a source known as Good Lightning, you have to continuously zap the good soldiers in order to keep them alive. After this, you fight one of Zarek's deadliest soldiers, Lord Kardok. He's pretty easy though. But before we go into battle with Zarek, let's hear his evil speech before he battles us.
Bugger.
What? Well, hey Zarek, I don't allow swearing on this show anymore. Where's he going?
Where is that spell? Ah, yes.
What is he doing?
No.
What's going on?
Oh, not right.
This is kinda dumb. But finally Zarek emerges. So comes forth the most terrifying, most horrifying, most... Seriously, what kind of design is that? He looks so stupid, he puts the giant claw to shame! He's also very easy though. I mean, just wait for him to drop his shield and blast him. Simple. The most effective weapon against him is probably the flaming arrows. After a short while, he's done.
Curse you, Sir Knight. I am finally defeated. Yet if I am to fail, then all shall perish. You are doomed, Fortescue. You will never leave this domain.
Oh boy, that can't be good. Oh my god, he's bringing the house down! Oh my god, Right. Well, with that over and done with, we have our ending. It's probably the best of the endings I've experienced throughout the games I've reviewed so far. So Dan has to escape Zarek's land, and having succeeded thanks to the help of a bird, he notices the sun rising for the first time since the trouble began. All of the villagers return back to normal, and all of the undead spirits return to their graves. As for Sir Dan, he returns to his crypt and dies peacefully. Now, there are 2 different endings for this game. If you haven't collected all the chalices, Dan just dies, and then the game is over. But if you took your time and collected all of the chalices, Sir Dan becomes a true hero and finds a new home for himself in the Hall of Heroes. Well, that's Medievil. It's a great, great game. Now, you're probably wondering why I haven't gone into so much detail. Well, it's such a big game. I believe that the less said about this particular masterpiece, the more fun you gamers out there who haven't had the privilege to play it yet will find it. The gameplay is solid, the controls are simple, the story is enjoyable, and also, the cutscene graphics are awesome for the time. In fact, if you watch them from a certain point of view, you could almost believe Tim Burton had something to do with this game. As a matter of fact, Medievil is scheduled to become a movie in the near future. Please, please, let Burton be behind it. I seriously can't see anyone else making this into a movie. If you ask me, it should also be in stop motion, like The Nightmare Before Christmas. Whatever happens, it shouldn't be in CG. For something like this, stop motion all the way. That's what I say.
Well, now that that's out of the way, what do I do now? Yes?
Meow!
Hi, oh, God!
Andy Cartoons.